How's it going, everyone? So the Green Bay Packers lost again, 2 times in a row, on the easy part of our schedule to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers by a score of 34-20. And it's to the point where Joe Barry should have already been fired now. It is pretty much noon over here on the East Coast while I'm recording this, and there has still been nothing, no news that he's fired. And I'm not really shocked. I was really hoping, like how Staley was fired, like, hey, morning kind of passed, but in the afternoon they got great news. Hey, Staley was fired. But that's not the case over here. Now, Matt LaFleur does have a press conference at 3 o'clock, and I will be hoping to hear something of a Joe Barry firing, which I highly doubt. I really do. Unfortunately, that's just how this team operates. Although it's weird we haven't fired Joe Barry at this current pace and how he's been, especially when Mike McCarthy was fired mid-season after his loss to the Cardinals. Like, we kind of disrespected Mike McCarthy. Yes, it was his time, but we didn't even give him the rest of the season. But we're going to give Joe Barry the rest of the season? Like, it's over. Like, he can't be the defensive coordinator for the Packers anymore. He is terrible. Why we even hired him in the first place, I still don't understand. He was in charge of the 0-16 Lions. Congrats. You are the first team to be defensive coordinator to have an 0-16 record. Congrats. You are now the first team or the first coordinator to be defensive coordinator of the Packers and allow the quarterback of the opposing team at Lambeau Field to have a perfect quarterback rating. And this isn't Patrick Mahomes. It's not Josh Allen. It's none of the elite quarterbacks. It's Baker Mayfield. And Baker Mayfield is not an elite quarterback. I think he's a decent quarterback. I think the Browns kind of disrespected him as well when they went to get Deshaun Watson. But it's still Baker Mayfield. That is embarrassing. And just in case you haven't seen it or already heard of it, Baker Mayfield, 22 for 28, 381 yards, averaged 13.6 yards per completion, 4 touchdowns, and no picks. Then in the rushing game, where, we've been terrible for decades at this rate, Rachaad White, 21 carries, 89 yards, 4.2 yards a carry. So he pretty much dashed us on the ground, which is fully expected of the Packers at this point. Then on the receiving end, Chris Godwin with 10 receptions, 155 yards with a 15.5 yard per catch average. And for some reason, we didn't even want to switch it up. We just let Devondre Campbell cover him for most of these catches. Why change it up? Get out of the zone. It's not working. And to add to it, when we're playing zone most of the time, I found a tweet by Andy Herman over here, and it shows how stupid the scheme is. It's ridiculous. So I'm gonna pull it up right here. So right here, Andy Herman tweeted this. It's 3rd and 4, down 2 with 8:48 left in the game. And as you can see here, there's 2 safeties over here, one nearly on our 40-yard line and the other right here on the, 46, 47. And the line of scrimmage is at about the 25. Why are they playing 30 to 40 yards back? This is a consistent thing with Joe Barry. We constantly complain and see it. Hey, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3. We're going to have our corners play 10 yards off coverage. Why are we doing that? There is no aggressiveness. It doesn't make sense. We're just allowing them. What kind of, you can't really break if you're just going to let them go down. There's no resistance. There's no breaking. It's just free game. So at this point in time, I don't know what Matt LaFleur needs to look at, because when asked about, of course, he's not going to come in and be like, yeah, screw it, Joe Barry's fired. We're done. I'm over it. No, he's not going to say that. And I actually wouldn't expect any NFL head coach to really say that. So his standard response, got to look at the tape. All right, cool. Go look at the tape. There's not much to look for. You play 1, terrible. Play 2, well, maybe not play 1, because, Ignabar did have a strip sack. So let's skip play 1. Play 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The rest of the game, terrible, terrible, terrible. Pass defense, non-existent. Defensive line played decent. But anyone outside of that defensive line just can go kick rocks with how they were schemed. They were just not put in a position to... They were put in a position to fail. I can't even blame them. I feel like Jair Alexander's injury, his injury is, I'm tired of Joe Barry. His injury's been too long. This is probably a silent revolt that they kind of know inside. And this could be a conspiracy theory, but it's weird how his injuries lasted for so long. And granted, the back injury before, and they can linger. But wouldn't it be crazy if somehow we fired Joe Barry today And then all of a sudden, Jair Alexander is active and off the injury list or ready to play next week. That would be pure coincidence, and it'd be very suspect. But that's besides the point. Joe Barry at the end of the day needs to get fired. We've seen it time and time. And last year, we gave him, after last year and his stretch, we gave him a third year and be like, hey, man, they ended the season well. Maybe there's something there. No, there's not something there. It's still the same old Joe Barry. I don't understand it. Matt LaFleur needs to just cut ties, move on, because Matt LaFleur, he does some questionable things on offense. And in the beginning of the season, we could kind of give Joe Barry a little bit of a pass because it's like, all right, the offense is struggling. It's hard to stop the defense consistently when you're always on the field. The offense isn't giving them any free passes. Well, now the offense is kind of coming alive. They're coming around, except for that game against the Giants. But for the most part, they're starting to come around. They're starting to play well. We had our rookie receivers and tight end, Tucker Kraft, Dontavian Wicks, Jaden Reed. They were going off. They played very well. Jordan Love actually had a pretty good stat line yesterday. Jordan Love was 29 for 39, 284 yards, and 2 touchdowns, no picks. He didn't turn the ball over except for that one fumble. And so we can't even use, hey, the offense isn't playing well. This is now the defense, and we're seeing the same old Joe Barry defense where he plays off coverage, no type of changing it up, no adjusting, no halftime adjustments, can't game plan, and just seems to have zero answers. And also another thing I forgot to add that I just remembered, Joe Barry is responsible for one of the worst ranked PFF graded coverages in that game against the Bucs over the past few years. If I could find a tweet, I'll post it right here. See exactly what was said, but essentially he had the worst defensive pass performance recorded by PFF for the past 3 or 4 years. And that's just terrible. It's not just this year. It's 3 or 4 years, pretty much your entire tenure. It's just terrible. So the Packers have a lot going on and they got a lot to fix. We do play the Carolina Panthers next. If we lose that game and somehow Bryce Young looks like an elite first overall quarterback against Joe Barry's defense, he better be fired after that game because it'll be an outrage and a revolt if he's not fired by then. And that's the crazy part. Like, we don't even know if we're going to be able to stop Bryce Young. We have to worry about Bryce Young, quarterback that's been struggling all year. And hopefully we can stop him. But that's my rant about Joe Barry. I will still be making a video about our playoff chances because somehow we are still mathematically in it and we actually have high chances if certain things were to happen. But I would rather lose the next 3 games if it guarantees Joe Barry's fate as no longer a Green Bay Packer because his time needs to be up. I'd be fine if we won the next 3 games and we fired Joe Barry today. We need to start looking regardless. Just need to move on. But let me know what you think down in the comments. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. And as always, go Pack Go. And fire Joe Barry right now. Right now. No, seriously. Like right now. Because our motto for this year is about to become Go Joe Go instead of Go Pack Go because Joe Barry needs to go. All right. Now.